since I've experienced so much pain in my life, he's the kind of man I can see who would actually love me for who I am. He'd take me with all of my flaws, my skin, my hair, my body, my face, my breasts. Everything about me was accepted unconditionally in his eyes. What he really only wanted was me, not just my body parts. Because of this, I knew he was a real, true love, to be snatched up so no other woman could have him. Plus, I could end my quest to find love myself. He told me once, when we were talking about his past relationships, there was one gal who called him out of the blue about a year after their breakup. She had gotten married after dating him, my fantasy boyfriend, then divorced, and thought to call him since she was newly single. They broke up because her family kept asking him to kind of come out and tend to festivities with them, and that just wasn't his cup of tea. I mean, he was busy on the weekends, writing books or doing something related to his passion. Besides, them being a little crazy to boot, that too wasn't something he knew not to get close to. You know, they say you marry the girl, or the guy, you marry the family, he always said. Well, she called him just to say, and I can see where she was coming from, you were the best boyfriend I ever had. You took care of me in ways no other man after you ever could. Even the man I married and recently divorced couldn't hold a candle to you. You raised the bar so high, I don't know if I will ever find a man like you to take your place. You always made me smile and feel loved and cared for. Are you dating anyone these days? Is there any chance we could get back together? I can see where she was coming from. It must have been devastating to her to some degree for her to hear that he wasn't available. When you date someone you really like and they break up with you, for whatever reason, it's hard sometimes to overcome any feelings you might still have for them if you don't find someone either better for you or more suited for you to serve your needs. Not everyone is meant to stay together forever. Sometimes we date people only to learn more about ourselves and what we truly want in a relationship. On that note, those types of people we date are more our teachers than just a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Looking back, after a particularly deep, wet session of making me come hard and falling into his arms after I came, he said to me afterward, "You can see now when women don't have a truly healthy sex life or this kind of fulfillment with high levels of quality sex or multiple orgasms, long makeout sessions, lots of kissing, laughter, and conversation in bed, naked, etc. That they truly are missing out on the benefits that come with these activities, such as the mental, emotional, physical, medicinal, and even intellectual benefits." As he held me, looking back, I can see what he meant. All I have to do if I'm having a bad day, or I need a spark of creativity, is to think about when we made love, or when he made me orgasm, how he made me feel, how I felt before, during, and after we made love. It puts a smile on my face. He motivates me to be my best. I can relax when times get tough, and when stressful days rear its ugly head. I can see what he meant, and I now know that I want a healthy, robust, happy, and fulfilling sexual relationship with my man. It's as if, and he said it, you know, it's like, no wonder sex is so good for us, and in so many ways. With sex, you don't need drugs to calm you down. You're not depressed, and hopefully, because you're loved. You feel wanted, desired, and sexy when your man really pays attention to your body like a good fantasy boyfriend should. You know, instead of medication, unless you absolutely need it as prescribed by a doctor, my man is my medicine. Oh, wait, he said that earlier. You know, I'm starting to really see into his world and frame my mind about all this. And it's actually rather beautiful, I think. There are times now when I'm away from him that I get super horny. Feelings of horniness I've never felt when I was alone, just myself, serving my own needs from time to time. Now I'm home, alone, and I want his touch right now. Nothing can replace his touch. Should I drive over to his place, surprise him? I could call him when I get to his place. I'm at the front door. Babe, let me in. I need you right now. Or maybe I could just reach for my little pink lady vibrator under the bed and take care of my needs temporarily. I could, but having been with him, it's just not the same. He's 10,000 times more than what this cold, plastic sex toy could ever offer me now. I'm broken, sexually speaking, and only he can fix me. Now, I know what that gal meant when she uttered the same expression. Oh my. I'm starting to sound like one of his past girlfriends who even wanted to go back just for breakup sex. Oh well, I'll just have to suffer and wait until I see him again. He has that kind of addictive effect on me. I can't go long without seeing him. It would be nice if we lived together. Maybe one day we will. Then I could ravage him every night, and he could ravage me like two lions in a cage in heat. When we spoke about having access to each other every night, living together potentially one day, he said something about having separate bedrooms. At first, I did a double take. What? We'd have separate bedrooms and sleep separately? I'd get the master bedroom, he said, because I'm the woman, and I have most of the clothes and most of the shoes and makeup, and I need space. All he needed was a basic closet for his clothes, a dresser, and a bed in the guest room. He said this was fine by him, and he'd always lived like this when he lived with his girlfriends in the past, starting with the time he moved in with his first girlfriend in college at age 19. She was 21. He decided this for several reasons. Number one, if they ever broke up, it would be easier to find a roommate for that extra bedroom than if they had chosen to live in a one-bedroom apartment. That made sense. Number two, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So by them sleeping alone a couple of nights a week in their own bedrooms, it gave them a break from each other, which grows a desire to be together more. That made sense. Number three, when a weekend rolled around, one of them could say, "Hey, you want to sleep in my room tonight and have some fun?" It was kind of cute the way he put it. Number four, the variety of sleeping in different rooms was also an added turn-on to the relationship. Variety is the spice of life, as we all know, and he ensured they had that to some degree by sleeping in different bedrooms from time to time. He makes a lot of sense, doesn't he? Number five, if either one of them needed space for whatever reason, they could retreat to their own bedroom. That makes sense. Number six, if any one of them were sick or felt under the weather, they could rest and get well in their own bed. All this started to make total sense to me. You know, couples who constantly sleep together probably do grow a little weary of one another over time. They even start to wear clothes to bed to separate themselves even more from each other, subconsciously speaking. As a consequence, they need what? A break from each other. With 2 bedrooms, that break was built into their own living situation. Pure genius he was to think all this at the young age of just 19. I suppose when we live together, we might have the same arrangement. I actually love that he knows to give me the master bedroom, and I can see his reasons. They make a lot of sense. Yes, I've said it before. I was sad, depressed, yet always well dressed, but lonely so much of my life before I met him. After spending so much time with him like we have, I don't feel so down anymore. I used to say, if you're depressed, you can often work things out with the one you're dating. Maybe together you can work on getting out of your own mental funk or escape your depression. Well, having been alone for so many years, even my depression had depression. Yikes. Well, through his touch, care, patience, love-making powers, etc., he helped kiss my depression away bit by bit. Oh, probably all that kissing helped some too. Being alone with my insecurities, I felt men didn't really find me attractive. When they don't kiss you as often, if at all. They just want to have sex. Did my fantasy boyfriend stumble onto the key to solving my depression? His kisses? It depends on what's depressing you, of course. If you're lonely like I was, I know for me, his kissing me so much definitely helped me overcome my loneliness-related depression. Funny how I talk to myself so much like this. I just have to laugh. He's not very materialistic, and he would make sure he helped me see that and feel that way too. I have girlfriends who tell me their boyfriends have to buy them all kinds of expensive gifts and take them on lavish vacations and things like that in order to, for them to feel like their men care about them. These acts of spending kindness are actually really hollow inside, he had said to me, because if a woman isn't feeling loved from within, all the outwardly gifts and adulation will only make her feel worse as time goes on, as her real needs aren't getting met. Not to mention, they'll just want more things to confirm he loves her. My fantasy boyfriend made a point to me that the expensive car that those guys buy for their girlfriends, it still sits in the garage at night. All the jewelry they buy gets taken off before bed or can be stolen. And all those clothes go back into the closet or the hamper after being worn. What she takes to bed every night when she lays her head down on the pillow with or without him is either a still, sad, empty, and lonely heart or the longing desire to be desired for who she really is inside her mind, her heart, her soul. So my fantasy boyfriend instinctually makes sure his money doesn't go towards frivolous purchases that try to impress me. No, they go to things that keep me safe, like brakes, a new headlight lamp, maybe a payment that I couldn't make that really stressed me out, or some other bill to help me get through to the next month. The things that are closer to life and death and filling my heart with love, that's where he'd rather spend his money on me. Of course, that vacation to the Caribbean, that wasn't a bad investment either, he said, because that's an experience that will generate memories for a lifetime. Like turning our fantasy adventures with me into a reality from time to time, that's worth spending money on, among other more important things. He has his own house, car, and income. He doesn't live with his parents, and he doesn't rely on his parents' money to support him. He has his own income, and he's independent. I love that. I can't say that for a lot of guys these days. One guy in particular had a lot of money, but it was an allowance his parents gave him. I can just imagine if they ever took it away, what would he do? I don't want to think about it. I know it's not all the guy's fault as to why women are single. In my own self-reflection, having spent time with my fantasy boyfriend, what does he see in me? What do I bring to the table? Can I cook? Well, a little. I can learn, and I want to. His house is impeccably clean, so I know I won't have to be the maid at his place. but I sure better help keep it neat and tidy. I know the skills and business pursuits that I have can help us make more money together. That's something to talk about. I just know some women don't think about themselves and what possibly they might do to turn good men away. Love and romance is a two-way street. As they say, it takes two to tango. We ladies have to do our part to bringing more to the table than just our looks and such. Otherwise, we've got a lot of competition with other more looser women who give it up way too easily for men. There's porn erasing us, women, from the minds of men, artificial intelligence and sex dolls, here, now, and coming soon, escorts, you name it. If we women don't appeal to what men really want in a woman, who is to exhibit our true feminine side and not compete with him and tell men we're so strong and we don't need them, and then we can only fantasize about being cats and dogs owners in the future. Oh, one last thing to remind myself about this topic is that more men today are actually avoiding anything to do with women, whether it's working with them, riding in an elevator alone with them, approaching them in public, etc. Many men around the world are not even looking to date or get into serious relationships, let alone marriage or having kids. It's not that they are afraid of marriage or commitment. It's divorce. It's family courts, and the fact that women can almost initiate any charge against a man for whatever reason, be believed, ruin his life, and if ever found out to be false, well, nothing really happens to her. But too late for the guy. His reputation is practically near ruined. Women initiate most of the divorces, and sometimes with just the excuse of, well, I'm not happy. Oh, okay. Men are afraid women will, can, and do destroy their lives if their relationship with them doesn't work out. What does that mean? It means greater numbers of women are secretly and unbeknownst to them competing for the same small, shrinking pool of men today, and they don't even know it. So we ladies waste valuable prime time in our 20s, 30s, and 40s, thinking we have all this time to find a good man. That is the farthest thing from reality, and again, most women don't even know it. Now that I've met Mr. Fantasy Boyfriend and we've been hanging out, what I'm realizing is that men like him are 1 in 100,000 or more. I can't waste time thinking there are other options out there for me. Yes, he has a lot going for him, but what if he was 80% of what he was or is? Would I still accept him as Mr. He's good enough? I'll take him. You bet. No one is perfect, and we women too are not perfect. We all have flaws and should learn to accept one another for our flaws and make the fun times happen through experiences and memories, not looks and appearances, as they all fade for everyone. Am I making sense? To myself. I talk to myself a lot, don't I? His cooking skills are amazing. You'd think he had Italian roots or Asian or Mexican. He makes the most authentic dishes in minutes. He's like a walking restaurant. I can't wait to learn from him and then cook for him one day out of the week. I still like to watch him cook. He's also not afraid to say what others refuse to say or are afraid to say. If it's the truth and he can back it up, he'll say what's on his mind. It's all in the name of honesty, and I find that to be truly sexy. He doesn't make me feel obligated to have children. He actually enjoys our alone time, as we sometimes act like children. We play a lot. The world is our playground, and we stay up all night, and we sleep in almost every day. If I did have children, though, or we had them, yes, he'd make a great dad, and I'd be a great mom to our kids. Our kids would also pick up that their parents, us, really love each other. In fact, as they got older to ensure that they leave the house and don't come back when they turn 18. He said that we'd talk about running around the house naked and making love everywhere. And if they ever went, "Ooh, that's gross," we would come back with, "Hey, how do you think we got you kids? We made love all over the house until you both popped out."